What's up guys, Cipher Pol 808 coming back to you again with another video. Today we're going to be doing live reaction of Attack on Titan Chapter 137. I know I'm a little bit behind the ball. Chapter 138 is already out, and Chapter 139, the final chapter, is kind of already on the horizon. Going to be coming out here shortly, so figured, it's a little bit rainy outside today. You guys might hear that in the background. It's a perfect day to catch up on Attack on Titan. So, just a quick recap of Chapter 136. If you haven't already checked out my live reaction, go ahead and click the link above. But in it, we kind of saw the battle kind of continuing. We saw Annie, Mikasa, and Connie kind of heading towards the back end of Eren to try and rescue Armin, who had been kind of taken away over there. And then we saw Reiner and Jean kind of team up to try and save Pieck and trying to also blow up the nape of Eren's neck. And then we had Gabby and Levi that were still kind of on Falco. Levi was pretty messed up. His leg was kind of damaged, but he was still over there, looking for Zeke and trying to kind of complete his final order from Erwin. He's like, I've never dropped the order from him, but this final order, I can't seem to get it done. So that's kind of where we left off. Now let's jump right into Chapter 137 and see what happens. So, and also, quick, we also had Armin, who kind of realized that he wasn't dead, or, he was kind of in this weird, like, reality path, coordinate, because Ymir had swallowed him. He was kind of in this weird place. He was with Zeke, actually, and he's like, oh, so Ymir swallowed you too. So Armin's kind of like, oh, maybe I can do something from here. That was where the chapter kind of ended up. Now let's jump into Chapter 137. So, long ago, when nothing but mere matter existed in this world, as countless masses of some unknown things appeared, disappeared, then appeared again, one of them eventually survived. Okay, so maybe this is like kind of explaining how that solution that Ymir fell into in the tree kind of came about. We now know it as life. Okay, yeah, so you see like all this like DNA and molecules and like very primitive organisms. The reason that life ultimately survived was because it was in its nature to multiply. Life took new forms in order to multiply, adapting to every kind of environment and eventually leading to us as we are now. It sought numbers, it sought spread, it sought abundance. And so this is to say the purpose of life is to multiply. Okay, so Zeke is kind of explaining these things to Armin in this kind of like nexus type existence they're in right now, since they've been swallowed by Ymir. They're not dead, but they can't really do anything. This sand, these pebbles, the water, they don't seek to multiply, but life never stops in its frantic quest to do so. After all, death and extermination of the species runs counter to the goal of multiplying. That is why we face the punishment known as fear, and why that child so desperately sought to avoid such pain. Something stronger, something larger. She gave birth to an undying body, and then she escaped to a world that was free of even death. Okay, so explaining how kind of Ymir created the first Titan, I'm guessing. That girl was Ymir, the founder, and this is that world free of death. In that case, what exactly is Ymir's goal? I myself spent an astounding amount of time here trying to understand her. In spite of all the strength she had, she could never defy King Fritz. Why was that? For 2,000 years, she remained here obeying him. What was the reason? Yes, she did still feel attached to the world she left behind. Eren was able to understand that when I couldn't. And that is why Ymir went with him. Okay, so Zeke kind of explaining why his plan kind of failed and why Eren's plan, or at least Ymir chose to go with Eren as opposed to with Zeke, even though Zeke is, from the royal family, and technically she should have followed him. So, let's see. You have to tell me, isn't there some way of getting back to the outside world from here? Who knows? I think it's impossible now. I haven't given up on anything yet. Why? So Zeke kind of looks like he's a little bit defeated, but Armin's like, no, we can't give up. Well, to continue to multiply is the continuation of your species. Is that important a task to you? What's happening now could be called the miserable sight of life forms controlled by fear, a kind of fear brought about by completely pointless vital activities that my friends, they're fighting right. Okay, so Armin's like kind of interrupting. He's like, my friends, they're fighting right now because we can still save so many people from terror. What we're doing is fighting fear. Zeke's like, what would be wrong with losing that fight? You know that to live means to one day die, does it not? Who knows? Perhaps one's final moment brings relief. Maybe the end of your days being manipulated. Okay, so it's kind of like flashing to everyone that's fighting right now, all in the name of multiplication, without ever knowing if it means anything at all. Feels like freedom. Okay, let's see. Armin's looking down and he sees he's remembering a leaf. It looks like he's remembering. That looks like Eren and Mikasa at a young age, maybe a very early memory of his. The sun was starting to set. We were running to a tree on the hill. The three of us were racing. Eren brought up the idea and took off out of nowhere. Mikasa ran too, but stayed behind him on purpose. And of course, I was dead last. But the breeze was nice and warm that day. Just running felt good. Leaves fluttered everywhere. And for some reason I thought then, maybe, the reason I was born was so that the three of us could be racing there. Okay, so Zeke, okay, I thought the same thing when I read books at home on a rainy day. So Armin's kind of going over kind of the instances that he's felt like he's maybe potentially found the reason why he was born, the reason why it was alive. When a squirrel ate some nuts, I gave it. When we all walked around the market too, I felt it. That these trivial moments might actually be precious. And now he's holding up that leaf that, you know, kind of inspired that initial memory. It was buried in the sand. Why is that? Who knows? But to my eyes, even if there's no need for something like this in order to multiply, it's still something incredibly precious. Okay, but now maybe it looks like we're seeing it from Zeke's perspective, and it's turning into that baseball that we know has kind of been associated with Zeke. Yes, you're right. Just throwing, catching, and throwing again. The simple repetition. Okay, so now Zeke's having that memory up. It doesn't mean a thing, but you're right. I would much rather just kept on playing catch. Okay, now we're seeing people kind of from his past. Who are all these people? Oh, that's Mr. Yeager right there. Okay, okay, so now we're kind of flashing out of that reality and we're going back to reality, I mean. And we see Eren, he's getting the rumbling is getting extremely close to the plateau with kind of the last of the survivors. Okay, and then we see Piek, looks like her hand just got bitten off. She's trying to fight, but John kind of swoops in and saves her. Okay, I can keep fighting once my arm's fix. You're at your limit. We need to retreat back to where Reiner is he just got overwhelmed by all of these Warhammer Titans, or reincarnations of the different Warhammer Titans. John. Okay, so another, looks like that's Jaw Titan kind of flying in. And then we have the Okapi Titan still running away from Annie and Mikasa them. And we got Bertholt's Titan there. Sorry about that, technical difficulties. Okay, so we see Annie getting tackled right here. Mikasa and Connie looking on. And it looks like Annie's done for. She's just about to get pummeled by tons of Titans. And then what do we got here? What is this? Wait, Bertholt's Titan looks like it kind of smacked everyone away. And they're all kind of looking, and she's like, Bertholt, what? And then Porco and Marcel, Galliard, Ymir. Did he just save us, Bertholt? I don't know, but I'm not wasting this up. Okay, so looks like maybe some of the former Titan reincarnations that were actually either friends with some of these people or part of their group have kind of revolted, maybe. I don't know. All right, what do we got? Okay, so she shot the Okapi right in the head. I hit it. Okay, so Levi, yep, coming in, flying on top of Falco. Give Armin back. Okay, so Mikasa's like, give him back to me. And we see, okay, so Armin gets spit out. Ooh, that looks like it went right through his leg, though. The nasty tongue from the Okapi that kind of was in his mouth kind of looks like it just got shot right through his leg. But someone jumping in and hitting it with a thunder spear. Alright, what do we got? Alright, yep, so Connie coming in, cutting the leg off. Okay, so Annie's caught Armin. Alright, but she's still surrounded by all these big titans. Armin, sorry everyone, but we're okay now. Annie, behind you. Okay, so now all the titans are kind of fighting each other right now, but Annie's also still kind of fighting off the titans too. Okay, everyone's like, what's going on? Literally the next line, what's going on? The titans are helping us, seems that way. Okay, so we got Levi, and he's kind of looking on in disbelief, and he's like, there's someone coming off the top. Who is that? It's Zeke, the man that Levi has been searching for. Okay, you wanted to meet me, didn't you, Levi? Can't say I wanted to do the same. Zeke. What the hell's going on? It's thanks to Mr. Zeke. He woke up everyone who was asleep in the world of the path, where okay, so world of the path, that's what we'll call it, where neither life nor death exists. So, okay, so we're seeing what exactly happened kind of in between that time when we saw them talking and when he got spit out. Every Eldian is connected to one another by the path, I think. It's because the Foundry Ymir wants to be connected because she wants something from us. Okay, and then Berthold, Mr. Clover. Okay. Our dream was never realized. I still don't think the euthanization plan was mistaken, but if it meant getting to play catch with you again, I guess I wouldn't mind being born once more after all. Okay, so even Zeke's, conceding a little bit. He's like, I don't think that trying to do that plan was necessarily wrong, but I can also kind of see the other side of I wouldn't mind being born again so we could play catch, enjoying those, as they called them, the small trivial things. So I suppose I'll thank you, Dad. I took everything from you. Your life, your power, even your precious memory. Okay, so this is Armin talking to Berthold. That's why I know we can't just stay here. Lend me your strength. Okay, so this is Armin and Zeke. And it's still a little weird that Zeke is kind of spawning out of Eren, essentially, I think it is. What a beautiful day it is. If only I'd realized that earlier. Well, after all, the killing I've done, that's asking for too much. Okay, so Levi's like, I don't care. He just slices Zeke's head off. But did that actually kill him? I'm not too sure if that actually killed him. Okay, and now, okay, so we're going back to the plateau, and the rumbling is, it stopped. Okay, so they're a little ways out, and it looks like it's stopped. Okay, and now, okay, so we see Reiner, and we see, okay, John is trying to, escape. Oh, no, he's not trying to escape, he's trying to get to the, to blow it up. He's trying to blow up Eren's nape. You stupid little suicidal blockhead. Okay, so he's able to detonate it and blow off, Eren's head. Okay, but just like they said, the centipede is coming out, or the founding titan. There it is. It's doing it again. It's going after Eren's head. Alright. Okay, but Reiner kind of able to break free, and it looks like he's trying to tackle that from being able to get to Eren's head. And then Reiner, okay, so he's like body slamming it. Okay, so John and Pieck are over there. We need to get away quick. Armin's going to blow those bones to pieces. Okay, so now that they've got Armin back, they're going to have him transform and kind of destroy everything else before it's able to connect back to Eren's head. Wait, but Reiner, the Armor Titan should be able to withstand the Colossus Titan's explosion. And most of all, Reiner's prepared for the consequences. To let this opportunity get away would be to let that go to waste. Okay, so we see Eren's head kind of laying there. I don't know if it's laying there. But yeah, it's laying there. And we see Reiner kind of putting everything he's got into holding back the Founding Titan from reconnecting with it. And it says, thank you. Without all of your strength, we wouldn't have been able to stop the rumbling. Goodbye, Eren. And then you just see this massive explosion. And that's the end of the chapter. Okay, so now the big question is this enough to stop Eren? Is this enough to stop Ymir? How much of this is really Ymir versus how much of this is really Eren? Does this kind of come back to, what Armin said in one of the first, or not first chapters, but, kind of way back in the beginning, where you can't change anything if you're not willing to risk everything. So, excellent chapter. We'll be back later for chapter 138, and like I said, I can't wait for chapter 139 to be coming out shortly and see kind of what the conclusion is going to be to this excellent manga. And we'll be catching up later to the final season of the anime, but that'll be out a little bit later. But thank you for stopping by. Like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful day.